It's a ceremonious buy or sell this week. I got a handful lined up for you guys, so let's jump right into it. Starting with this, Patrick Alvin says he wants to move up at the NHL draft. Jason, you buying or selling Alvin moving up and the Canucks getting a higher pick at the draft?
Well, I'm buying that he wants to. I'm selling that he will. Lots of guys want to move up. But the problem is when you look at the history of trades moving up, is it worth it unless you really, really like a guy? It just, there doesn't seem to be like the NFL has. If you move up 3 spots, it's basically this, right? Mm-hmm. So the NHL doesn't have that, which I don't mind, by the way, because then it's, hey, if you can fleece another GM and you can move up and he drops back, fine. But like if he does move up, I think we're talking 1 or 2 spots, guys. I don't see him jumping from 11 into the top 4.
Fair. Frank?
You said it perfectly. Wants to, don't think he'll be able to, just because I also think that almost universally around the league, teams view that top 10 or top 11, 12, 13, whatever their personal cutoff is, as being a big drop off in tier, and not just statistically, historically, but also with this class in particular, that there's a reason why none of these top 10 picks have moved this year. And that's because the teams really value the players available there. And I don't really see someone giving up one of those spots unless it's for a really special player in return.
And by the way, I'd love to see it though, because I love trades, but usually we always talk about, these guys are moving, and then we get to the draft and there's very little movement.
I don't know how plugged in you guys are to the Instagram game around the NHL, but there's been a lot about Pierre-Luc Dubois. He's on a boat with Cole Caulfield. He's at the F1 race in Montreal. He's at a CF Montreal game with David Savard, and everyone just thinks, he's trying to angle his way to get to Montreal. I'm going to say Pierre-Luc Dubois ends up anywhere but Montreal this offseason. Frank, you buying or selling that?
Man, that's a good question because I want to buy, but I also think that they're interested. The thing is, the Canadiens are playing their hand really smart. They like this player. He wants to be with them. They want to be with him. Everyone understands it. But if everyone knows that and that's out in the ether, and you have one guy that's 1 year away from unrestricted free agency, essentially what they've told the Jets, at least my understanding is, we like the player, but we'll just see him in a year. Why would we give up a whole haul for him when we could just get him a year from now? The question is, will someone else entice him? Will the Jets send him somewhere else that entices him to sign long-term before they can get their hands on him? And if that's the case, my guess is the Canadiens just kind of, I don't want to say shrug and move on, but there's only so much you can do. And why would you go overboard trying to get a guy that already wants to come there?
Now, isn't his off-season home Montreal? So the fact that he's hanging out at events in Montreal isn't a real stunner.
But the drama's good.
No, hey, I get it. And F1, man, having beaten the F1 race last year in Montreal, I'll tell you, it's a hell of a spectacle. But I will sell. I'll take the field all day long, just playing the odds on that one.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll see what Botano has posted up for that one. Third one I got for you guys, I'm going to say Blake Wheeler is traded and not bought out. Jason, buying or selling?
That's such a fascinating one. Like his cap hit is so high. What is it, 8.25? God, I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's. I don't know, man. Like, what do we got here? Well, we still got a week left for buyouts, so.
Get off the fence.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell. I think he's gonna get bought out.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm gonna buy. I think he gets traded. Look, at $4.125 million, Blake Wheeler has real value, and teams know that their Jets are considering it. So it's not like the Jets have any leverage to say, hey, we'll eat half, but you have to give us something. They're like, no, then buy him out, sucker. And he still had 55 points in 72 games last year. And the year before that had 60 and 65. Like, at 4.125 for a big power forward, as much of a pain in the ass as he may be, there are enough teams out there that would sign Blake Wheeler to a 1 year, $4.125 million deal. That's what I think is going to end up happening. And it might also be just the cleaner move for the Jets anyway. Clean up the cap issue in 1 year as opposed to spreading it out over 2.
Cost them less money too, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it all depends what the return is, right? Because it's if you give up Wheel and get something, it's 4.1. But if you buy him out, you have a 2.75 cap hit for 2 years. So it's 4.1.
And you'd
for
have
1
to
year.
pay him more actual money in the end to go away via buyout.
That's true.
All right. There we go, guys. A quick hit on the Canucks, on Blake Wheeler and Pierre-Luc Dubois. A 3-hitter for this week's edition of Buy or Sell.